Hi Year 9, hopefully you've had a good week. Hopefully you've been out in the garden a bit, if you've got a garden, if you can safely get outside. Hopefully you've had a really nice, safe week at home. Might know by the time you listen to this, we might know a bit more about when we're going to be going back and seeing each other again. I don't know. But in the meantime, let's learn some stuff about different types of microscopes. So last week, I hope you guys managed to watch the home learning we did for you last week as a PowerPoint and hear me explaining it. But I just wanted to make sure that you knew how to do that. Obviously, I don't know if you're going to be able to, if you can't watch it, you probably can't hear me do this. But anyway, you just need to click the little button at the corner that looks a bit like a screen, and then as soon as you do that, it'll go full screen and you'll be able to hear me talk through it. If you want to pause it, you just need to press escape. So anytime if you want to go and do something else, go and make a cup of tea, watch a video, just press escape and it'll pause it, and then you can go back in. I'm going to try and do a video version of this as well though, so with that you'll just have to press pause instead, but you will have to use the PowerPoint as well just to get any video links. Okay, so today's home learning is all about different types of microscopes. We mentioned this a little bit last week, but it's just a bit more detail about what they are and the advantages and disadvantages of them. Again, I've done loads of links for you at the bottom of this slide, so if you do need any more detail or you're not sure about something, obviously you can't just ask us, you know, we're not going to be there immediately for you, but these links are there all the time. So but do make sure that you do ask if you have any questions, because we are here to do that, and to be honest, we're pretty bored at home, so you can ask us and we'll enjoy answering your questions. Right, so first slide is a bit of a challenge, and if it was me, I would round up everyone that's in your house at the moment, and you can all do this together because I think it's quite fun. So it's a bit of a quiz, and these pictures have all been taken with an electron microscope, and you've got to guess what they are. So these are all things that are probably in your house right now. They're all completely normal everyday objects. But one little note for you is that the colours are false colours. Now they're not, I think they're pretty realistic most of the time, but electron microscopes only take black and white pictures, so any colour you see on an electron microscope picture is always false colour. So just bear that in mind. So pause or press escape now, have a big discussion, see if you can decide what they are. Okay, so hopefully you all came to an agreement on this. So I'll reveal the answers now. So I'm going to do the middle one first, that green one. So I don't know what you thought that is. I think this is the hardest one on here. It's a porridge oat. So oats that you use to make porridge, that's what that looks like under an electron microscope. I think that's really hard. I don't think I would have got that. Okay, next one. Human fingernail. I think this one's pretty obvious because I think you can see the nail there, and that's the skin around it. Next one, that's the human eye. So that's your iris. So it's the coloured part of your eye. So this bit here, the little black bit in the corner, that would be the pupil, the middle of your eye. And then you'd have all of this bit would be the colour. But obviously the colour on that's false because nobody has red, blue and yellow eyes. Next one, that's a chicken eggshell. And I think this is a really interesting one because you can see the holes, because eggshells are porous, obviously to allow oxygen in, I think. I don't know loads about chicken reproduction, but I think that's what they're for. I think that was quite interesting. Oh, this is the most disgusting one. Yeah, that's your tongue. Ugh. And Velcro. I think this one you should have got this one with the hooks and then the fluffy bit on Velcro. I think that's a good picture though. So hopefully you got some of those, and that was a little bit of fun to start us off with electron microscope pictures. Right, so on to the proper learning now. I want you to think back to last week, and I want you to have a really good think about what the difference between magnification and resolution was. So if you've still got your notes from last week, hopefully you're keeping them all together and trying to be quite organised, so you've got a record of what you've done over this time. Have a think about what the differences between those two terms were. I'll give you a couple of seconds, so pause it or press escape if you need to think. Okay, hopefully you had a think. And hopefully you got that magnification is about how zoomed in on something you are. And if you want to zoom in further, you can change the objective lens on a microscope, so you can go to a higher power lens, and that'll increase the magnification. Resolution is about how clear an image is. So if an image is blurry or pixelated, that means the resolution is low. And to change the resolution on a microscope, you use the coarse and fine focus adjusters. Okay, so these two pictures at the top, the one on the left, this one here, oh, lost my pen. Let's have a look. There we, oh, hang on. No, I can't write on the slides today, guys. Sorry. I tried. Okay, so, oh, there we go. That one there, that's the light microscope. So they're the ones we have in school. They use light to work. That's why they're called light microscopes. This one here is an electron microscope. Now you can see these bits here are like computer screens, so that should give you a size of the scale of electron microscopes. They are massive. You would need like a whole room to take up an electron microscope. We don't have them in school. They are incredibly expensive. So if you went to like University of Birmingham, any of the universities, they've probably got one somewhere, and you can probably use it if you go and study there, if you've got something you really want to look at, but not something that we can have, unfortunately. I think you could probably get like 1 million teachers for the cost of an electron microscope, which obviously you'd all rather have so much. So if you look at these pictures here, this one is a light microscope, and you can see you've probably used a light microscope to look at pictures like that. That's cells of some kind. This one here is the bottom one. That is from an electron microscope, and if you're really thinking about this, you could probably tell that that's blood, because you can see the biconcave shape of the red blood cells there. And then these, the ones that I always think look a bit like Ferrero Rochers or something, you know, those little chocolates that you get with the Nutella in, I think they're white blood cells. So you can look at the differences between those images straight away, and I can see that this one is 3D, which is really useful, isn't it? So that's something to think about. But it's clearly black and white, so again, that's something else to think about. So what you need to do is click this link here, and you'll need to pause if you're using the video, or you'll need to press escape if you're using the PowerPoint. Click on the link, watch the video, and I want you to make some notes about like a comparison between electron and light microscopes. So what are the differences? Are there any similarities? Now if you like, you could set out your notes like this. So sometimes I like to set out notes with questions that you've got, key points, and then a summary at the bottom, but it's up to you how you set your notes out. Okay, so pause or press escape, watch that video, and we'll start again in a second. Okay, hopefully you've seen that video. Hopefully you've got some really good notes which will help you for the next activity. So for this part of the home learning, you've got to type your work into the Word document that's been attached to the assignment. Again, remember what I said at the beginning, if you're working on a phone or an iPad and you can't do that, then that's absolutely fine. Just speak to your teacher and we'll find a way of being able to look at your work for you. Okay, we all need to adapt and we all need to find the best way of doing things. So just please let us know. Do not worry about it. So if you are on the Word document though, I've put this box on it so you can remember what the task is, and I've left you a nice big space underneath because you can choose how you present your work for this. So what I want you to do is to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of using a light and electron microscope. So I need to know what are the advantages of using an electron microscope, what are the disadvantages, and the same for a light microscope. And you could present your work any way you want. You could do it as a table. You could have a table for electron and a table for light microscopes. You could have a Venn diagram. You could have a paragraph which has the advantages and disadvantages in. It's completely up to you. I don't mind how you present it, totally your choice, but you've got a nice big space on that Word document to do that. If you feel like your notes aren't enough information and you need a little bit more, there's two things you can do. You can either go back to the links on the first slide of the PowerPoint, have a look through, read the information. There's probably some really good videos on YouTube as well you could probably watch about this. Or you can go to the next slide and we can do some highlighting, and I'll just go through a little bit of that with you in a second. The next 2 slides will support you with this though. Okay, so this is what I meant. So for this, what I would do is I'd use, well, if you can highlight, if you can't, that's fine. Make some notes, have a look through and think about what the advantages and disadvantages are. And I'll use different colours just to highlight them for you. So if I use red for the advantage of electron microscope, I can't write very well. I'm trying to write with like my finger on this laptop screen, so it's really hard, so that's what I'm going to write. So if we look at that, if I use red, so it says here the biggest advantage is that they have a higher resolution. Okay, sorry, that's terrible highlighting. So the biggest advantage is they have a higher resolution. Okay, so I've got one advantage of an electron microscope. They've also got a higher magnification. So that's all advantages. Okay, I'll choose a different colour for light microscopes. So for light microscopes, I'll use yellow, and that can be advantage light. So back to my yellow highlighter. Can we see any light microscope? That might be on the next slide. I'm having a look. I think that's going to be on the next slide. That's all right though, we'll highlight that one. I'm going to do green. Is going to be disadvantage for light, and we'll use purple, sorry, for disadvantage electron. Okay, so can we see any disadvantages of light microscopes? There we go. They only show a useful magnification up to 1,000 to 2,000 times, so that's not ideal. That's much less than an electron microscope, and it means you might not be able to see things that you would with an electron microscope, so that's not great. Right, so it would have to go on to the next page to do the rest. Hopefully I've talked you through that enough and shown you how I would do that. I'm going to rub this highlighting out now, just because otherwise you won't be able to read it when you come back to it. So have a look on the next slide too. Here it is, and again you can see things like, I can't remember what colours we had, but electron microscopes are extremely expensive. It's very difficult to prepare the sample. They need to be very thin. Sometimes you need to coat it with metal like gold. I don't have a lot of gold in my lab at school, so that would be pretty difficult for us to do. It has to be completely dry. That means all of the water needs to be removed, and that means that it has to be dead. So whatever you look at in an electron microscope has to be dead. So it wouldn't be great if I wanted to look at something that was supposed to be alive. Like if I wanted to look at alive insects under an electron microscope, it's just not possible because it has to be dead. Okay, next 2 challenge tasks. Again, these are done on your Word document. So if you scroll down on that Word document, there's a second page, and these are both on there. So first task, you need to decide for each of these when it is best to use an electron or a light microscope. So there's 2 scenarios. The first one is to look at the internal structure of a white blood cell. So not just the outside of a white blood cell, the inside, what is inside it. Okay, so you're talking something incredibly small. Don't know if that gives you a clue. The next one is to study the heartbeats of a water flea. This is a really interesting experiment. You get a water flea, which is a tiny, they're called Daphnia. You might have to Google a picture of a water flea. They're tiny little insects, about 1 millimetre-ish in length. You look at them under the microscope, and when you look at them under a microscope, you can see through them, and you can see their heart beating. You can count how many times their heart beats in a minute, and you can do things like put caffeine in with them and see if that increases their heart rate, stuff like that. So you need to decide if it's best to use a light microscope or an electron microscope, and you need to give reasons. So don't just say light microscope, you need to say why. Why do you think that? Right, the next challenge task is to construct a formal letter. It doesn't have to be massively long, but it does have to be convincing, to the head teacher of your school, so it's Miss Price, and I want you to persuade them that we need an electron microscope in our science department. So think of all of the advantages of electron microscopes. She'll probably say, oh, it's too expensive and stuff like that. So you need to convince her. It needs to be very, very persuasive. And again, that needs to be on your Word document. When you finish that, you can submit that Word document on Teams to your teacher, and they will be able to give you a little bit of feedback, which will be good. So we can see how you're getting on, check you're doing loads of work, and check you're understanding what you're doing. It'll be really, really helpful for us. So that is the end of this week's science home learning. So this week I've put you in one funny science video. So if you click this link here, that will show this one. That is a link to a video all about gorillas, and they put a camera where gorillas, in a place where gorillas live, and discovered that when they eat together as like families, they kind of sing as they eat, and the way that they sing depends on like how much they enjoy what they're eating and stuff like that, which I thought was really cute. And the end of the video is really funny. Probably don't follow up your meals like that at home, because I think my mum would probably kick me out of the table, like off the table, if I did that. The bottom one, this one here, is a TV pick of the week. So it's on BBC iPlayer, so you can all watch it, and it's all about the Hubble Space Telescope. I thought it looked really interesting. Let us know what you think. You can watch it and you can say that you're doing your science homework. That is an instruction from me for sure. So have a really nice week. Hopefully we'll see you all soon, and hopefully this video worked for you. See you later.